Hey, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is Esther Kane with SeniorSafetyAdvice.com, and today this video is about caregivers. It's for caregivers and it's about caregivers. You know, we do a lot of videos for seniors, how to stay safe, how to modify the home to make it easier and safer for them, you know, how to prevent injuries, what to do after an injury. But we don't do too much about caregivers. We don't talk much about it. I mean, we put it in a little bit here and there in some videos, but we don't do that many videos just about caregivers. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about that because a friend of mine is going through a very difficult time, you know, caring for her mother, elderly mother, and it just brought up all these issues. So we're going to talk about tips for caregivers, about doing something for yourself and how important that is. So I hope that this topic is something that is useful for you and that can help you or a friend or a relative. All right, before I get into that, make sure to subscribe, click the like button. We appreciate each and every single subscriber, and we're very grateful for all of you. So, all right, so let's get going. There are some signs that let you know that maybe you are not caring for yourself as much as you probably are caring for the other person. And that's very, very common. I want you to know majority of family caregivers, especially family caregivers, give their all to the senior loved one, whomever they're caring for, their mother, their father, grandparent, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, even a spouse. It's very easy to do that, but the truth of the matter is that you need to care for yourself first. You know that old story, you're on the airplane, the oxygen tank comes down, the oxygen mask comes down, and who do you put it on first? Not your child or the person next to you. You put it on yourself first. And it holds very true. How can you possibly care for that other person if you're not in good shape yourself? So this follows that line of thought. I do want to give you a little percentage, a little statistic, that's the word. 46 to 59% of caregivers are clinically depressed. Clinically depressed. That doesn't, not just sad or overwhelmed, clinically depressed. That means real depression. And as someone who has lived with someone who is clinically depressed, I can tell you that that is a dark, dark hole that is extremely difficult to get out of. So you do not want to get into that place or that space, that's for sure. So how do you do that? Well, let's talk about the signs that show you that you may not be caring for yourself as much as you should. One, sleep deprivation. Now, I know if you're caring for a senior loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's, that sleep is going to be hard to come by because they may be getting up in the middle of the night and you have to be up with them. So I understand that very much, but sleep deprivation is definitely one sign. Poor eating habits, which actually end up leading to high cholesterol, high blood pressure, being overweight, failure to exercise. That's very common. I mean, come on, you're exhausted, you're tired. The idea of getting on a treadmill or going for a walk or whatever is just like you just want to crash out and probably sleep for a month. I understand that. Failure to care for yourself when you're ill, if you have a cold or flu, or you injured your back or whatever, and you don't give your body, time to rest. Many caregivers put the person they are caring for ahead of themselves, and much to their detriment. And postponing medical appointments. Yet another way that they avoid caring for themselves is by avoiding, postponing, the regular checkups, the eye doctor, wherever they need to go. And a year, 2 years, 5 years later, it may be too late to correct some of the illnesses that have come up because of that neglect. So those are the signs. If you're doing any of those things, then you know that you are in the majority of caregivers who are caring for their elderly parents or senior loved ones. So don't feel that you're alone. Believe me, it's very, very common, but it doesn't mean that it's right. And it doesn't end well. I'm going to read to you a quote from caregiver.org. If you are a caregiving person between the ages of 66 and 96 and are experiencing mental or emotional strain, you have a risk of dying that is 63% higher than people of your same age who are not caregivers. That is how much stress mental and emotional issues are putting on your body. It didn't say anything about physical stress. It didn't say anything about injuring yourself as you're lifting someone or harming yourself in any way physically. We're talking about mental and emotional stress, and it puts you in a position of dying, 63% higher chance of dying, instead of other people your same age who are not caregivers. So the importance, the great importance of caring for yourself is right out there. It's absolutely necessary. And I get it. A lot of caregivers, Robin and I, were both caregivers for our parents, and we understand the guilt and the issue of wanting to do as much as you possibly can for them. But at the same time, you need to watch out for yourself. I have a very good friend who became a grandmother not too long ago, and she laid down the rule with her son at the very beginning. She said, I have a life, I have a job, I have a career, I have hobbies, I have friends, I have things that I do. I want to spend time with my grandson, of course, but I also have limits. I need to continue with my life. And because she did that, she is happy and healthy and a wonderful grandmother to her grandson, because she's be able to give to him everything that she can, because she is happy and healthy, and she's not overwhelmed or tired from helping out with babysitting and caring for him and whatever else goes on with taking care of children. It's the same idea. You want to establish the rules that you still need to continue with your life. So let's go with these 7 tips that I put together on how you can help to care for yourself while you are caring for a senior loved one. Very first thing is do something different as much as you possibly can. I know it can be very difficult, especially if you're caring for someone with dementia or Alzheimer's. The idea is to keep a routine, keep things the same. And that's true for them, but not necessarily for you. So you want to do something that can get you, out of the house or out of the drudgery of doing the same old every day. And it can be something simple. Take a different route on a walk. Maybe, introduce some new recipes. You can make June can be chocolate month, let's say, and you can, make recipes with chocolate cakes or use chocolate in all kinds of things. There's a great chicken recipe with chocolate that I remember having from a long time ago, and it was so good. Doesn't seem like it would be, but it really was. So why not explore things like that? Anything that's a little different, just to break up the drudgery a bit. That's very important. Do not become a solo caregiver. So many caregivers try to do it all. They think they are the only ones who can take care of this person the way they need to be taken care of, and that is so untrue. So learn to let go and learn to let other people in. It could be friends, family, people from your church or whatever other group, your bingo group or bunco or anything at all. Spread the love, spread the care, and share it. Maybe you have to hire somebody if family isn't cooperative or whatever. Whatever it is, spread it out. Do not be a solo caregiver. It's an impossible job for one person, too difficult for too long. Get counseling, either private or from a support group. You need it because you want to make sure that you're not going crazy. There are going to be many days where you want to run out of the house screaming or plotting the murder of the person you're caring for. Don't do that, of course. But the point is you feel that way. You just are angry. You're angry that you're in this position, and you're angry that this is happening to your senior loved one, and you're just angry about the whole thing and frustrated, and you feel trapped. That is very common. I can't imagine most any caregiver not feeling that. I mean, it's just, how can you not? So I know that Robin and I both went through that for sure, but I can tell you that it's extremely common. So speaking with a private counselor, or even in a support group, you could at least get perspectives from others. I love the idea of a support group because you get ideas from other people in your same situation of how they're handling it. How are they coping? What are they doing? What's working for them? It may not work for you, but it may inspire ideas of what could help you. So definitely get out there. Even if you can't physically get out to a group or someone, you can do online counseling, and there's plenty of online support groups, especially on Facebook. So please check them out. If you're thinking that you are the only person who can take care of this person that way, and you're the only one who can make him the sandwich the way he needs it, or bathe him the way he needs to be bathed, or whatever it is that you're doing, and that you're the only one, and even if someone came in and they did it differently, it doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong. Give them the space to help you to take care of this senior person. Learn to let go. And it may be that this situation will teach you to learn to let go if you are that kind of person that is just holding on to everything. So, I mean, I'd like to believe that everything happens for a reason, and sometimes that reason is to give us a lesson in something that we need to learn to overcome. So if that is your case, learn to let go. And that's where counseling actually would help a great deal. Keep up your friendships, your events, your hobbies, your church, whatever it is that you normally like to do. Keep that up as much as you possibly can. Of course, there's going to be days where you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to do exactly what you had planned. You definitely need to be flexible as a caregiver because every day can be different, but you do want to at least try to keep up with all of that, because at the end of the day, after months or years or however long you will be caring for your senior loved one, they will have passed and you will be left with what? If you've given up your friends, your hobbies, everything, then you are having to rebuild all of that. But if you can maintain that, if you can keep that up, then you can just slide back into that. And plus the emotional and mental stimulation that all of that gives you is so necessary for your own personal health and, put you in a good psyche. Exercise is so very, very important, although I know how hard it is. I have a very difficult time with it myself, but do your best to make a routine if you possibly can. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have somebody come in, every day at 9 a.m., let's say, and, just stay for an hour while you go for a 45-minute walk or anything. Or even if you can't get out, getting a treadmill or any type of machinery in the home that you can use to help yourself, just to exercise, to get that blood flowing and to feel good about yourself. I mean, one thing about exercise is it's super hard to get started to doing it, but almost everybody feels very good once they've done it, once it's completed. So try to think of that. Try to think of the end goal, because it's very important to care for yourself. And very last thing, take time off every single day for yourself. I don't care if you're reading, taking a bubble bath, watching a movie or your favorite TV show, or baking cookies, whatever it is. Make it a rule that you, between 2 and 3 or whatever time, is your time. And if the person you are caring for is, cognizant enough and they can follow directions and understand what's happening, then you can set that rule at the very beginning. You have to set rules, otherwise it's a free-for-all. So, but of course, I understand if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, you can't necessarily do that. But you can often get ideas of when their downtime may be, when they take a nap, when they normally would take a nap. Or if you can get somebody to come in to help for certain times. But it's important that you try to take at least 30 minutes for yourself every single day. It's your break. It's your time to step away and care for yourself. So, both Robin and I, as I've said, have gone through the process of caring for our parents. And there were wonderful times and there were not so wonderful times. So we know how difficult it can be, emotionally, especially when you're caring for a family member, because all those old emotions come out, especially if it's your parents. And it can be difficult to maneuver and to live with and to care for. So I totally do understand what you're going through. I hope you can take some of these tips and put them into your life so that you can take care of yourself, so that at the end of the day you can live a beautiful, wonderful, happy, long life after they have passed away. And then that someone can help you when you will be needing it as you grow older. And maybe you can pass on these tips to them and be a role model for them of how to properly care for someone. All right, I hope these tips are helpful for you. Please let us know if you have any tips that, what do you do to care for yourself? How do you maneuver through this, caregiving project that many of us end up in? And of course, let us know any other topics you would like us to cover. We'd be more than happy to take a look at them. Don't forget to subscribe, click on the like button, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye.